with Showtime's new series, The Agency, from Ford versus Ferrari and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny writers, Jez and John Henry Butterworth. The Agency follows covert CIA agent Martian, played by two-time Oscar nominee Michael Fassbender. Come on, seriously. He's ordered to abandon his undercover life in Ethiopia, where he's having a relationship with a married woman. Was it an assignment? Is he in love? Was it a fling? The love he left behind reappears suddenly, putting his career, his identity, all into peril. Let's watch a clip. Yes, as Sammy Zaire, the woman who is the love interest, Jodie Turner-Smith.
Get it, Jodie!
As the second in command of London Station, Henry Ogletree, Oscar nominee and Primetime Emmy winner, Mr. Jeffrey Wright. He is the station chief Bosco, Primetime Emmy nominee and Golden Globe winner. You know him from Pretty Woman, Breathless, Chicago, the list goes on. Mr. Richard Gere, please.
Yeah, I do. Those three, those is hot.
He's the executive producer of The Agency and The Spy in Question as Martian, two-time Oscar nominee, Mr. Michael Fassbender.
This is good. Good cast. We're gonna be here. I gotta check it out.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi. So, a number of you have starred in thrillers, have starred in spy thrillers. How does The Agency set itself apart from other works in your canon in terms of that genre?
He's looking at you, Richard.
I'm in it.
One of us actually wants to talk. Yeah, I'm trying to think of this. I haven't done a spy.
But you've done your fair share of thrillers as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. But
Some of the characters you've played have dealt
you
with.
know what it is? I rarely play a boss.
Okay.
I'm usually one of these left field, right field, off in the corners kind of guy. But I played the boss in this one, which was a little hard for everyone, I think, to believe that I was actually the boss.
Fair point.
Fair point. A lot of alpha people here, that didn't want to give that up. No, but it was fun playing with these guys, and I mean, there's a lot of testosterone up on this stage. I'm sorry.
I think there's enough estrogen here to just cancel all that out.
No, but I think it's rare to read something that's this well written, for sure, and has the richness of character, and the writers were very responsive, I think, to all of us who were. Actors always have questions about character development and would I really do this, and would I really say that? And maybe there's a better way. But they were very open and responsive to all this. And I think that was, and the fact that we got along so well. I mean, the three of us, unfortunately, I don't work with Jodie. And she just told me I don't work in the second season either, which we're both really upset about. But I mean, just being able to work with these wonderful actors, things happen quite quickly, and the shooting went quickly. But we were shooting like a movie, so to me, it was a movie.
Yeah, thank God we got on, actually. I was thinking that after we finished, I was like, thank goodness we all got on. Because that would have been very difficult, because, you definitely got to hit the ground running with television, and 2 weeks to shoot an episode, got to block the scene and figure things out quickly. But I would say what maybe sets this series apart, obviously there's a lot of stuff out there in this genre at the moment, and a lot of the times I find that they're trying to pack a lot in, like to an episode. And what The Agency does really well, and the original series as well, The Bureau, is it takes its time in a way that, maybe like a book would do. You're introduced to the characters. There's such an intelligence to the setup of everything. And then the payoff comes down the line. And for an audience, I think, you've got to lean in a little bit. You've got to do a bit of work yourself. They're always the kind of things that I find most rewarding. And I think, by the time you start to get into episode 3, 4, 5, things then just start cinching up, and all the things that have been introduced in the first couple of episodes start to materialize and come together, all the different sort of, threads and storylines. It's very smart writing, as Richard said.
Yeah, I think as well, the way that it differs from certainly things that I've been a part of in the past is that it's really grounded in kind of geopolitical reality that reflected what's happening in the real world. So at the same time, it was intensely human. I mean, it was very much about the relationships that these people have, these civil servants, these federal employees. That was really the focus of it, but the backdrop is really drawn from the headlines. So, going forward, the show will take place in a dystopian, chaotic circus on Mars.
I'm not in that episode. I won't be going to Mars.
But it was that attention to detail in terms of kind of creating the stage for us to play on that was so relevant and timely and thoughtful that, for me, at least relative to other projects, similar projects that I've been a part of, really separated it from those.
Jodie, can you tell us how Sammy carves out a path in this male-dominated spy intelligence world?
Well, Sammy is, not really, she's not a spy. And so it still kind of is male-dominated, but I think it's realistic in that we all know that for a lot of people, what motivates them is love, right? And so even when she's not necessarily on screen, she's still there. You can still see how she's driving the continuously more frenetic actions of the incredible Michael Fassbender. And so in a way, it was like I didn't even really have to struggle to carve out any space. Also, I think, a great actor is going to be telling a story in a way that's making you think of these relationships, even when that person's not on screen. And that's really what Michael does. So I get to actually take up a lot of space in this show, even when I'm not on screen. And I think that's so interesting and really fun.
Michael, I love The Killer. Can you tell us about building Martian? There's this wonderful moment in the first episode, which feels like an echo to The Killer, where you come back to the apartment and you're combing through. It's right in the beginning. You're coming back and you're combing through the apartment and you're finding all the bugs, and it just tell us about building Martian.
Yeah, that scene actually wasn't in the script. That was an idea that I came up with. And it was an inspiration from The Conversation, the Gene Hackman movie, Coppola movie, where it is that thing of, if you're working in this field, the chickens are going to come home to roost. It's going to be happening to you. And always, at the end of the movie where he's ripped his apartment to pieces, looking for a bug. Somebody might be listening to him. So that stuck with me. And I thought, how are we going to, portray this sort of paranoia, this constant state of paranoia that these people sort of operate in, and they have to survive. How we could do that. So that scene then came about with that, where he's, they're listening to him. He knows they're listening to him, and you just sort of got to, carry on as normal. It's a little bit like Big Brother, the TV show. I don't know, do you guys have that over here, where people live in a house? And, made me think of that. But there was a lot of things that I did think about The Killer, and this character, Marshall, you know, I think they're both sociopaths, and there's voiceover in both of the things, so you're kind of getting an inner monologue for what these characters are, their perceptions of the world and how they exist in it. So there were definite parallels there.
Jeffrey,